We're going to move on, and we are going to talk about the continued destruction of James Bond, because of course you're going to ruin James Bond.
They're slapping a baseball bat against their palm, and they're like, sure would be a shame if we evolved your character for the modern day.
See, what I think they're doing here is I think this is the big ask. And I think they're going to make a bunch of ridiculous suggestions, so that way when they just cast like Regé-Jean Page, you're just like, fine, that's fine, whatever, we don't care. Then people won't complain. So it says,
but you should care.
You think it should? I do too. But it says the next James Bond will be more in touch with his feelings. Producers say. I sent this one to you guys.
Yes.
I just want to do this one first because it gives a funny breakdown of the stuff here. It says Barbara Broccoli, which is Mary's favorite name in the entire world. She loves the name Barbara Broccoli.
I mean, I just think she should have a perm that's dyed green because
for climate change.
For climate change. For broccoli.
We're doing everything at the show for climate change now. So it says Barbara Broccoli said that the next actor to take on the role will continue the work of Daniel Craig, who cracked Bond open emotionally.
Do you think that's accurate?
Yes, I do. I just don't think it was necessary. That's my personal opinion.
You disliked that aspect?
I didn't care. It didn't matter to me. It worked in Casino Royale when he had fantastic chemistry with Ava Green, who played Vesper Lind, and as the movies went on and you saw his emotional growth with the other characters, I didn't really care for it. I didn't feel that, I don't remember the actress's name, but I never felt that he had the same chemistry with the other actresses involved, in that it was better to relegate him back to the old school vibe of being kind of more of a spy of the world, a man of action and adventure who occasionally sleeps with beautiful women. And I think that was just fine.
I think
it's a movie.
It's perfectly understandable that maybe they'd want to incorporate a little more emotional complexity to the character, but I don't think in so doing you need to redefine him as, they said, a devoted family man. And that's a take I'm kind of surprised that I have, because I do think more mothers and fathers and marriage should be shown in entertainment.
Sure, there's 9,000 other genres.
That doesn't mean that you need to take an established character whose identity is partly that he is completely free, playboy, single forever. That's part of the Bond identity, right?
Yeah. It's funny because they talk, whenever they talk about representation, and they talk about seeing yourself in another character. One of the beauties of Bond was that you could see yourself as, you imagined yourself as this heroic person, and you're never going to be that person because the stories were so outlandish. I don't want to know about his home life. I don't want to know about his family life. I want him to
He's
stop.
also supposed to be flawed, right? Part of the reason that he is a lone wolf, whatever, is that
he's emotionally
flawed.
I liked the emotionally closed off nature of Pierce Brosnan's Bond. I did.
So you're just fixing the major flaw in the character, and that makes him boring.
Yes, it does. It absolutely. So they talk about here that there's an independent intersectional organization focused on rooting out sexual harassment at its source, the power imbalance that leaves women unequal in every industry, and if she's going to something like that, the days are numbered. You can't promote this character and that type of thing and expect it to not get changed in some fashion, in my opinion.
Do you think that eventually they will cast a female Bond?
No, I don't.
Because it seems like the first step toward that is exactly what we're seeing now, where first you crack him open emotionally, and then the next Bond that we're going to have for the next, they're saying decade, 10 to 12 years, is going to expand upon that movie by movie until it becomes more and more realistic that they can just fully change it to a female character.
So is the idea here that then once it becomes a female character,
creeping in...
Once it becomes a female character, then it starts acting like a guy again, because that's what they seem to cherish in female characters in Hollywood.
The most masculine.
You can have a masculine James Bond as long as it's a woman.
They're going to do a horseshoe.
all
where
the way
you
back.
go from.
She's going to be a womanizer.
You know what I think would be a really good idea? leave James Bond alone and make a female spy movie.
That's all they have to do. Bring, like,
Which can be done very well.
what the hell is Jennifer Garner doing right now? Go grab her, leave the kids with Ben Affleck, take him, leave him with him and J-Lo, and bring her out and bring Alias back right now.
Alias was great.
Alias was great. Carl Lumbly's probably not doing anything. I guarantee you who else was in that show. Gina Torres was in a bunch of episodes. Bring her back. And Roan, whatever the guy's name is, the Ron Rifkin, the guy who plays her boss, and then the guy Victor Garber who plays her dad. All those people are still around.
Yeah.
The guys are kind of old and geriatric now, but still.
Well, even then, you can make a new spy thriller that stars a woman. Like, it's not that difficult.
Wait,
there
are they
strengths,
still making original new movies?
No.
No,
They're not.
There are
That
natural
happened in
strengths that women have
decade?
that can make them believable in those roles in movies.
I also want to point out that before we move, we're going to get into the female James Bond stuff more, but there's the funny response from Pierce Brosnan where this is my favorite thing that I read today. Mary heard me giggling. Basically, they asked Pierce Brosnan, they're like, so who do you think should play the next James Bond? And he just goes, I don't care. I love it. I'm here for it. He's just like, I don't give a crap. Like,
well,
whatever.
I read this quote from Brosnan where he said he was favorable to the idea of a female Bond. He said, I think we've watched the guys do it for the last 40 years. Get out of the way, guys, and put a woman up there.
Pull the ladder up behind you, Pierce. Why don't you?
I mean, why is he still your favorite? Are you able to just separate,
the art
who
from
he
the artist.
is?
Yes. GoldenEye is enough of a masterpiece to me that I can ignore how dumb he sounds right
Okay,
here.
because sometimes you do seem to have trouble separating art from artist, and this is an exception to that
I don't
rule.
think that's an exception. I disagree. I think I can separate art from artist fairly well now.
Okay.
I will say it's harder when it's new work. If somebody says something stupid now, it will not affect how I see the stuff they did in the past.
That makes sense.
Otherwise, I would hate just about everything that like Kevin Alejandro and all these other like TV actors that I really like. They all say stupid stuff, and it would really bother me. But that doesn't. But for him, I also think that he's just saying what he has to say. I don't think that he gave this question more than a 10-second thought. If he thought about it for more than 30 seconds...
Because he clearly doesn't care anymore. And he's left his legacy on the franchise, and he's happy with that. Daniel Craig also said that he's favorable to a female Bond.
Yeah, because they're
But it's
all
like,
male
that's
feminists.
the obligatory stance that you just have to have.
How do you... It's like you said...
They don't want to
Sure
get
would
canceled.
be bad if we
Yeah.
didn't have a female Bond, right, Pierce?
It
right?
feels like a shit test.
Yeah.
They're looking for a punchy headline.
Sure
That's
would
all
be
they
a
want.
shame if we ruin your career for having the gall of saying like, oh, I think Bond should be a guy. The
It's
only
really a
person-
win-win for the media when they ask a question like that. Because if they say yes, then it's a headline that Daniel Craig calls for a female Bond to be his predecessor. Successor,
His
sorry.
successor, yeah.
And then if he were to say no, God forbid, then that's a whole controversy they can milk in itself.
Yep.
So
they also talk about what was it about men being men are evolving, so James Bond should evolve.
who said men are evolving anyways?
I was gonna say men are not evolving. Hollywood is pretending that men are evolving, and Hollywood male feminists like Adam Levine are pretending that men are evolving. People are in general the same. Social media has just made everyone put up a front.
Have you seen that meme of like the Chad Wojak pointing a gun at the fish coming out of the water with as becoming an amphibian, and he's like, go back,
Dude,
this is you with James Bond.
the Chad
Stop evolving.
Stop evolving. The Chad meme, they've got a mask for that now that gives you
They
like there's a filter that gives you the Chad chin, like with the
Oh.
beard. It's incredible.
Oh,
We should do the show with
Halloween
it.
ideas.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, you didn't want to dress up for Halloween, but now you want to do
Kind of
it?
want to now.
Oh,
Yeah,
you guys
Okay.
have to.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge.
Do something low effort.
I wanted to go as like I went as the captain of the Titanic one year.
You have to be someone like blonde now. You have to be like Guy Fieri. I don't know why I'm so like adamant
by
about the Guy
that
Fieri
time
thing.
it might be grown out enough that
Yes.
it is like just the tips.
Yes.
I need to.
Do
I need to
it.
learn
You
how
would
to
just
cook.
need like a chef
I need to learn how to
coat.
cook.
What is that called?
Well, he needs the button down,
Yeah.
short sleeve button down with the flames.
Yeah? I'm sorry. I haven't been a Hot Topic in 2 decades. So.
And a puka shell necklace. I don't know if Guy Fieri even wears those, but
It sounds like him.
it sounds like him, yeah.
What's your best Halloween costume?
That I've done before.
Let me guess.
Yeah.
Let me guess. Ghost.
I haven't done a ghost costume, actually. No. I'm going to keep it a surprise. It's going to be this year.
Ooh.
Okay.
We're going to take the bait on the Fandom Wire article, which we're not putting in the headline because it's
Fandom
absolutely...
Wire is just rage bait to the max.
It is.
And we love it.
And this is a total bait. That I kid you not, the name of this Twitter account is Emily ACAB #BLM LGBTQIA, and then it says pronoun she her BLM supporter, vegan, animals are our friends, lesbian, non-binary, LGBTQIA, furry ACAB #free Palpatine. This is a troll
It's not,
account.
yeah.
This is a
but
weird version
aside from having the pride flag and the trans flag, also pirate flag. I can get behind that.
So this is clearly bait, but we're going to take it for the fun of it.
It's bait, but it also is reflecting a real sentiment that's been floating around.
So it says, in a Twitter data analysis conducted by SEMrush, 47% would like to have a female agent, 25% were against it, and 27% were neutral. You're lying!
About being neutral to it?
No, about the I don't buy the survey one bit.
Yeah, who's voting in
and
this?
who it's like, did they go to like we want a female JamesBond.com and find all their Twitter users to find these people? No.
The truth is, a female Bond would do great with critics.
You go
and
to
terribly
any
with the audience.
Yeah.
If you go to any college campus, that might be an accurate poll.
No,
Maybe.
you know what? I changed my mind. They can do it, but she has to be hypersexualized, treated like an object, just like James Bond is basically just a male power fantasy. I want this one to be a male power fantasy as well. You can change the gender. You can't change anything else.
Wait, what? How would it still be a male power fantasy?
She's gonna be getting with chicks the whole time, and it's gonna be hypersexualized and done by a bunch of bros. Okay, I want a bunch of bros to do this. Then they can do it. Otherwise, leave James Bond alone.
Oh, so we can only have a female Bond if the entire cast and crew, other than her, is male.
Yes.
I mean, it makes sense. It's only fair, right? That's kind of where we're headed.
That's So it's
because like female representation only matters in front of the camera, not behind it.
So it says there's a lot of like they have a lot of grants and they have a lot of like organizations now that are big about like they're like when a lot of these shows get made, they talk about gender parity behind the camera as well, as if that somehow makes you a good storyteller. Being good at your job.
I'm
makes
sure
you a good
Olivia
storyteller.
Wilde would have many opinions about that.
That would have been a fantastic segue if we were there yet, but we're not there yet.
We're not there yet.
So it says gender swapping.
Foreshadowing.
Yes, gender swapping in movies has been popular. No, it's not. Doing it does not make it popular.
When has it been
some
done
other
right?
examples?
I can't think of an example where it's been done
Ghostbusters
right.
did it, but I don't think anybody
That
liked
is literally
that.
Universally hated.
That is
Yeah.
Ocean's 8 was not completely hated. It made its money back and then some, but it's not loved.
I'm
and
trying to think of other examples.
there aren't any good examples of. Okay, how about this? Ghostbusters Afterlife actually has a female, the little girl in that movie, played by McKenna Grace. Basically, she probably has to get like surgery from carrying that entire movie on her back. The entire movie rests on this little girl's shoulders, and she's fantastic in that movie. But for some reason, they hated that movie because it was made by the director's son, right? Not Ivan Reitman, by Jason Reitman, right? So they didn't like it because if you like that version, it means you didn't like Ghostbusters 2016. But they love Ghostbusters 2016 because they're Hollywood journalists and they're losers. In this case, Ghostbusters Afterlife, which was actually a fantastic movie, but not all that much like the original Ghostbusters. It just had a lot of heart behind it and was led by this tiny little young actress who was better than everybody else in that movie, Paul Rudd included. That somehow doesn't count because it goes against the narrative, right? That's an example where it's done well.
But
What
that
narrative,
was like an
though?
extra.
What narrative
character.
are you talking
They're
about?
saying that gender swaps are popular. I'm telling you they're not.
So you're saying that would be the exception?
This would be the exception, not the rule. And even in this, it was basically Stranger Things, but Ghostbusters. But it
Yeah.
still worked.
So it wasn't like a previous character was swapped.
No.
It
Yeah,
was just
But it was a franchise. It
character.
had the name behind it.
Yeah.
And she plays Venkman, not Venkman. Dang it! Now somebody's gonna call me on it. The scientist Egon's daughter or granddaughter, one of the two, granddaughter, and she's the best part of that movie. And but it like they run headlong into the narrative. The same thing happened, with Captain Marvel and Alita Battle Angel. Right, Alita Battle Angel got no press, and everyone was telling people not to go see it because it was coming out at the same time as Captain Marvel, and Captain Marvel is Disney approved. Brie Larson sucks, so that means Hollywood loves her. And the young actress who was, and I don't remember her name, Rose something.
It says a lot that you don't remember.
Rosa, no, but she's great in that movie, and she was very magnanimous and professional, and clearly loved playing the role. Whereas Brie Larson came off as everything other than that.
Yeah.
But Hollywood picked their side. They picked Brie Larson, and now we don't necessarily we're not going to get the Alita Battle Angel sequel. Well, maybe we will, but
I think that
Rosa Salazar. Am I getting that right?
the risk of James Bond getting gender swapped.
She said it would. To be fair, Barbara Broccoli, your favorite name, said that wasn't going to happen. That he has to be a dude.
Okay, sure, but who is to say that she's going to still be in charge of this 10 to 12 years from now?
They love that.
Someone
too.
is going to get
when she eventually, she's I don't know how old she is, but eventually she's going to pass away, and then we'll get a Tolkien.
This is an inevitable situation, I feel.
I was right, by the way. It's Rosa Salazar. My brain's working today.
It starts when you're proposing other things like race swapping James Bond.
Yeah.
I know you disagree with that, but once you throw details like that to the wind, like once you're saying out of fatigue and just giving up on it, like sure, just cast Regé-Jean Page, I don't care anymore. Once you don't care anymore and you're done protesting against their agenda, that is when they can do whatever they want to your character.
Well, then I'm the problem for not.
You're the culprit.
It's
you
all,
and Barbara Broccoli
I have to look
are
in
to blame.
Somebody finds a mirror to show me a mirror. It's been me all along. It was always my fault. So in this article, basically, and like I said, yes, it was Rosa Salazar in Alita Battle Angel. So I wasn't wrong about that.
Yes, Brett, we know.
Producer says James Bond stays a man. Meanwhile, other actors are not so keen on this new concept. Ana de Armas, who played Paloma in No Time to Die, said in an interview, "There's no need for a female Bond. There shouldn't be any need to steal someone else's character, to take it over." They're right. Don't do it. Just make your own character.
It's kind of interesting that she's pushing back against that because I think in other situations it wouldn't be acceptable to...
I would be okay if they took Michelle Yeoh's. She played a Chinese spy in Die Another Day.
I can look it up if you want.
I hate doing that. In the one with Jonathan Pryce. But basically, she plays a Chinese spy, and I would be okay with them doing that. She's older now. That'd be cool to have Tomorrow Never Dies. That's the name of it. Tomorrow Never Dies.
Yeah.
That one was about a
1997.
That one was about an evil media mogul who commits crimes so that he can be the first to report on them. And change things in the world, and it's all about.
That's interesting.
Yes, that one is very, very culturally relevant still to this day. But her character, whose character's name was Wei Lin, which is my favorite part of it, Wei Lin. Yes, I would be okay with them making a movie about her. She was great. Or if they wanted to do it about the lady who played Natalia in GoldenEye. Those were both from the Brosnan era. Very, very competent female characters that could have.
So
had
you're fine with a spin-off?
Yeah.
I don't know if I don't think it would cool with doing a spin-off.
I don't think it's going to get the.
I think that would be lame.
I don't think it's going to get the traction they think it will, but they can try. A lot of people have wanted Halle Berry's character from John Wick to have her own movie, her and the dogs from that film. So I don't know.
I think it's kind of interesting that the women are cool with saying like, well, he's written as a male character. I think he should stay male, and I don't think there's any need for a female Bond. But the men are like, I'm open to a female Bond.
Yeah, because they're not going to get in trouble for saying that. The guys will get in trouble for saying that. So this is one of the other tweets. It says, okay, but hear me out. James Bond, but it's a woman. Jessica Bond. No,
Jessica?
But I know, right? Not Jane Bond.
Jane
That
Bond
would be
sounds
better than
cooler.
Jamie, at least.
No, but seriously, it would be pretty cool to have a female-led spy movie, as if that doesn't exist anywhere.
Because the only spy movie that's ever existed was James Bond, right?
It's like Black Widow, but actually good. Ugh, these people, I tell you, they're wrong.
Maybe if they do Jane Bond, she'll like slap men around.
You know they had. I never watched the show, but there's a show called Winona Earp that's apparently very good, at least from what I've heard. Was very good. It's about it's like Wyatt. Remember, like Wyatt Earp, but it's Winona Earp. I don't know if it's his daughter or something, but that show is apparently well liked. You do that. Mm-hmm. I don't think it'll work.
Or just do something.
Or just do something on your own.
But that's hard. So
that's a lot of work, and then they have to promote it themselves. It's just so difficult. Thanks for watching this clip, guys. If you want to see full episodes or follow us on social media, links are in the description below. Bye.